Hi there, Booksheep, it's Roz, and a big smile because this is an announcement video for a wonderful annual reading event that I'm a co-host for, and that's PeopleApril. This will be the third outing for PeopleApril in 2025, and to celebrate that, we now have three hosts: myself, Elizabeth of Books and Books, whose inspiration started this event, and our new host Brian of Bookish, who is another enthusiastic reader of biography and memoir and so on, and has also written some. So welcome Brian as our third co-host, and all three of us will be doing announcement videos today. So when the other two are up, I'll link to theirs in the description notes. So what is PeopleApril, you say? It's a month-long reading event in the month of April that's all about reading non-fiction books about people, not like people en masse, but a kind of individual people. So biography, autobiography, memoir, letters, journals and diaries, group biographies, any of that. And to take part, you just need to read one thing, and then maybe share and talk about it too. Remember that biography and autobiography doesn't only come in one form. You can have biographical, autobiographical poetry, comics, graphic memoirs, graphic biographies, picture books, biographical picture books, essays. There's a whole variety, isn't there? Plays. You can have a biographical play. In fact, I'm expecting to look for one to read in my month. So be imaginative. Another way we invite you to be imaginative is in how you use our prompts. Okay, so the PeopleApril tradition is that we pick prompts that are quotations by real people, and then invite you to try and somehow or other link your reading choices to one or both of those prompts if you can. And the more imaginative you could be, the better. So our prompts this year are one short, one long. The short one: memoirs are the backstairs of history. That was said by George Meredith, who was a Victorian writer, novelist and poet. The other is making fake biography, fake history, concocting a half-imaginary existence out of the actual drama of my life is my life. And that was said by the American novelist Philip Roth. So I hope one or the other of those inspires you a little. I think there's a lot of options that you could choose to somehow link to one of those. The other thing that we is now a PeopleApril tradition is having a Discord group, a conversation on Discord that is a space to talk about the books that you read, how you link them to the prompts, make recommendations, ask for recommendations, about all sorts of people books. And I will put an invitation to the Discord server in the description. Please join us there. If you haven't used Discord before, it's free. You can use it on a phone or a PC. It initially, if you're not used to it, it looks a bit strange. And then once you start using it, you realise it's really easy. And the nice thing about it is you can have kind of different threads within a server, so that, for different sort of elements of discussion. And it's sort of anonymous, you don't need to give it your phone number or something. The other thing that we always make part of PeopleApril, and has proved popular in previous years, is to have a group read. And what we do is us, the lucky hosts, we pick a shortlist. We've got a shortlist of 5 interesting options this year, and then we run a poll. The poll will be on Elizabeth's channel in her community bit, and I will put a link to that when the poll is up. And so do go on there, do vote for the book that you'd like to read, and really hope you will join us, and the group read discussion will be on Discord. So that's the summary. Then the second half of this video, I'm going to talk about the 5 group read options and try and tempt you to vote for one of them. And then I hope to join us in reading whichever gets chosen when the people speak. So our 5 choices. Number 1 is something very current. That's Raising Hare, a memoir by Chloe Dalton. She's a British writer. Actually was like a sort of political advisor and political writer. And then during the COVID pandemic, she moved to the country and, somewhat to her surprise, found herself adopting and raising and then reintroducing to the wild a baby hare, a leveret. And so it's a book about our relationship with nature and how that affects us. And it's supposed to be really beautiful. It's on, people describe it as stunning and not overly sentimental, which books like that can be, I suppose. And it's currently on the long list for the Women's Prize for Nonfiction. So bang up to date, that one, but fairly readily available. Second choice is a biography rather than a memoir. It's The Tigress of Forli by Elizabeth Lev. If I give you its sort of subtitle, it summarises the book for you in many ways. So it's Renaissance Italy's most courageous and notorious countess, Caterina Maria Sforza de' Medici. It came out in 2011, was very well received at the time, so it's very readily available, I think, in second-hand copies and so on, as well as new. It's lively, intriguing historical biography that conjures up, a very special period in Italy's history and a really interesting woman. Choice number 3, different again. This is Conundrum by Jan Morris. Now, this is a short but groundbreaking memoir, which Morris wrote or published in 1974, but has been relatively recently reissued. Why has it been reissued? Because it's a kind of a seminal work as a memoir of someone's gender reassignment. And Morris was a well-known journalist and then transitioned, and she became one of the most admired sort of travel writers and cultural writers of her generation. And it feels like a timely moment to read a sort of groundbreaking work about transition, doesn't it, and trans experience. Choice number 4 is a whole lot older. We thought we would throw in an autobiographical classic, and we've picked Walden by Henry Thoreau. Now, this was written in 1854, or published in 1854. You probably already know it because it's one of those, it's one of those books that turns up on, 100 greatest nonfiction books of all time, or, 100 books you should read before you, whatever, is one of those, or inspiring works that the origins of the environmental movement, or, all those things get said about this book. It's essentially his journals, so his edited journals from the period of time when he lived in a simple cabin in the woods on a sort of extensive property that belonged to his friend Emerson. And it's a combination of sort of detailed observation of nature with more sort of philosophical thinking and elements of sort of, I don't know, almost like self-help before that was a thing. So if you've never read it, and I never have, could be the moment. And then choice number 5 is another new release, but one that looks back, because it's On the Hippie Trail by Rick Steves. Now, the subtitle for that is Istanbul to Kathmandu and the Making of a Travel Writer. So in 1978, Steves was 23. He wasn't yet the famous, a renowned travel writer he is today, he did the classic hippie trail journey, taking a bus from Turkey to Nepal, just before it stopped being possible to make that journey. And this book is his journal, his sort of travel journal of that adventure, kind of bookended by his reflections today about how that changed him and made him the travel writer that he is. So 5 exciting choices. I hope one or more of those will tempt you to go on, vote, and then join us in the group read. But to be part of PeopleApril, all you have to do is read one people book, whatever that might be.